Hi, this is Nafia of 2nd MA from Sri Ayyappa College for Women. In this video, I'm gonna give general introduction about post-structuralism. Post-structuralism emerged in France in the late 1960s. It is a movement in literary criticism and philosophy. Basically, post-structuralism is a philosophical concept. Post-structuralism came in response to structuralism. It came after structuralism and it is against structuralism. Against in the sense, not complete, it is against structuralism, but post-structuralism, for both structuralism as well as post-structuralism, language is central. But post-structuralism is against structuralism. Important figures or the key proponents to post-structuralism were Jacques Derrida, Roland Barthes, Michel Foucault, Julia Kristeva, etc. And Roland Barthes, Michel Foucault, Julia Kristeva, first they followed structuralism and later on they followed post-structuralism. Before dealing with the post-structuralism, let's see what are the events that pave way for post-structuralism. I'm going to mention one or two events. First thing is the disillusionment with the system after the Second World War period. So at that time, there was scientific development, they were technologically developing. So people believed that all those developments were fixed and they were gonna benefit from that developments forever or long lasting. Their benefits is gonna to be long last. And what these wars did is, it destroyed all those development and their belief of fixed. The idea of something is fixed is changed, or the stability or stable or constant is changed. There is no fixed thing, which is one of the key features of post-structuralism, not only to post-structuralism but also to deconstruction. And the second thing is, Terry Eagleton says a story about post-structuralism. Post-structuralism was a product of the blend of euphoria and disillusionment, liberation and dissipation, carnival and catastrophe, which was 1968. Why Terry Eagleton is saying like that? What is the specific event in that particular year he mentions in 1968? So there was a protest in the year 1968 in France in the month of May. So that protest itself is called May 68. I'm going to briefly explain what that is. That protest, that is May 68 protest, is student workers protest. It lasted for some 7 weeks, and protests, like they were protesting in the forms of general strikes, and the workers in universities and factories were protesting. It was happening in France. This protest was against the government. Why they were protesting against this France government is, at that time, United States involved in Vietnam War, and this France government secretly supported United States. As a result of this, there is a dip in France economy. There was no wages for workers, and the majority of the protesters were students who were working, student workers. So they were suffering without wages, and this was the reason for their protest against the government. So the protesters tried to break the structures of state power. So in that way, post-structuralism found it possible instead to overthrow the structures of language. They were overthrowing the structures of not only state power but also in every areas, like changes in cinema, music, literature, art. In everywhere, this overthrow of structure were happening. In that way, it overthrew the structures of language. Thus, post-structuralism came in response to structuralism, and it was against, post-structuralism was against structuralism. So these were the events which paved way for post-structuralism. In 1966, Jacques Derrida delivered a lecture, Structure, Sign and Play in the Discourse of the Human Science. So in this lecture, Derrida proposes some limitations to structuralism. Post-structuralism rejects ideas within structuralism. Jacques Derrida opposes the concept of Ferdinand de Saussure, who is a structuralist. Post-structuralists focus mainly on language as a system in constant change. Post-structuralist is highly critical of the unity of the table sign. Derrida opposes Saussure's concept of sign. That is, according to Saussure, there is a thing or object. For example, when we hear or saw a word cat, automatically that is the word cat is the sign, and the signifier is the image, the image that we perceive in our mind. that is the image or form. For a cat, we used to imagine in our mind. That is a signifier. And the signified is the mental concept which we created for that image. That is like cat is like a single-tailed, it have 4 legs and it's a cute creature. Like that, we used to create a concept in our mind. That is signified. So this is the concept of Ferdinand de Saussure. Jacques Derrida opposes this concept of Ferdinand de Saussure about sign. In other words, post-structuralism opposes this concept. Derrida says that if we saw or if we hear this word cat, the signifier used to change according to each individual. In other words, the image of the cat that we perceive in our mind is not absolute and fixed. For example, if I am saying cat before 10 people, that people used to perceive or imagine cat in their mind. They won't imagine, the 10 people won't imagine a same cat. They will be imagining, definitely they will be imagining 10 different cats in their mind based on their experience with cats or their knowledge, or based on their knowledge about cats. That image used to change. So it is not so absolute and fixed. That is what post-structuralist says. According to post-structuralist, there is no fixed meaning, not only to post-structuralist but also to deconstructionist. This post-structuralist and deconstruction were similar but not same. Post-structuralism and deconstruction share some common ground, that is both have the concept that there is no fixed meaning, but they differ also. Both post-structuralism and deconstruction share some common ground, but they differ also. That is, in deconstruction, it focuses on the slipperiness or the difficult in holding of the language. But in post-structuralism is a big broad tent that includes deconstruction. Deconstruction is a part of post-structuralism. Structuralist chooses to construct the subject in and with language. Post-structuralist questions this very construction of the subject. For example, to understand a novel, first one have to understand the language. This is according to structuralist. But what post-structuralist says is the language itself is not fixed. This is according to post-structuralist. According to post-structuralists, everything is constantly changing. There is no fixed universal relationship between signifier and signified. There is no fixed structure, everything sliding beneath one another. Post-structuralists believe that words are always playing, meaning of the words are constantly changing. Post-structuralists don't believe in binary opposites. On the other hand, structuralists used to believe in binary opposites. Binary opposites is to understand one thing, you have to understand the opposite of the same thing. For that, if you want to understand what is sweet, you have to first experience bitter. So that is binary opposites. Post-structuralists don't believe in binary opposites. According to them, writing is superior to speech. On the whole, post-structuralism was reaction against structuralist movement to according to post-structuralist, meaning is not constant or it is not fixed. Thank you.